This is your Solana Daily Debrief. It is the 9th of May. Bitcoin's down a little bit, Ether's as well, and our Solana's down 4%. So it's, I think it came up to like 155 and then it's down. But as we've discussed before, this is typically a choppy period, so nothing I'm personally worried about. Marty Party puts out this here. If you believe in the Bitcoin hash rate to market cap ratio, as seen in this chart, then Bitcoin this cycle would achieve 265K. This is just a random theory. I do not think that's going to happen in the slightest, but just based on previous data, that's what that prediction would be. Also, this is kind of funny, but Van Eyck's Market Vector launches the Meme Coin Index top 6 assets and warns potential customers these coins are intended for entertainment purposes. I had a previous boss that was interested in crypto and ended up getting crazily into Shiba Inu and Doge. Didn't take any profits, so if they, take off this cycle, he might be okay. But they're the only two that he liked, just because those communities, they had big Reddit vibes and different forums and stuff. And the interesting thing here is the reason why these hedge funds are actually taking these positions is because they're outperforming other assets. So it kind of makes a decent kind of case for it. Doge is up 30%. Bonk is only up 6.6 with 12.5%. And these are some of the tokens that are actually in this index, as far as I can understand it. Is that right? Yep. With a brand new meme coin. That's crazy. Now we have some more news regarding the FTX bankruptcy. So around 98% of creditors with claims under 50K will get more than the actual allowed claims. Now this is because it's in USD value. So I don't even know what the price of Bitcoin was way back in November 2022, but let's say it was 25 grand or 20 grand. Go with 20 grand. Right now, let's say it's 60. Well, they basically are going to give you back 20 grand times 118% if you had one Bitcoin. Or if you had 1,000 Sol, they would value that somewhere around the $12 mark or something like that. Let's just call it $10. So they're like, okay, cool. $10,000 coming your way times 118%. Where in reality, the price of Sol, 1,000 Sol, $140, it should be $140,000. So it sucks, but it's better than nothing. So we have some very big news from Zeta Markets, and my research has done a good job of getting all the tweets, and I've gone through them a couple times to finally fully understand them. It's very, very late at night, and I'm flying out to Solana Crossroads tomorrow morning, this morning in a few hours time, so I'm a little bit maybe slow. But I would say that I'm not actually that slow, and I would say that as good as this is, it could be made way simpler. Just in future, for just all projects, just make a video as well. Just make a video. What do you need to do? So, announcing the Zeta community airdrop, we've allocated 1% of the Z supply, 10 million to our closest supporters and communities. Dupe, Pith, deBridge, Mad Lads, Tensor, Asset Dash, and Super Team DAO. Why? Because they supported, and it's basically a competition. So each community has been allocated Z, roughly proportional to the number of eligible users from that community. So if we click on this, you can see Dupe gets the most, then Pith, and then so on, with Super Team at 0.01%, which is still quite a decent amount, considering there's not actually that many people like super active in Super Team, as far as I'm aware. Not part of a Super Team because there's none in my country, but yeah. Asset Dash as well, still a decent amount. Will go on down, and Tensorians as well. They're still getting quite a large amount as well. So the eligibility criteria. So this is what you have to do. The community will be checked at the end of the competition. Additionally, please note that no Z score means no allocation. So you must join community and trade on Zeta to receive an allocation. And then there's a bonus round as well. So the top 3 communities ranked by total Z score earned will unlock bonus allocations for the communities. A total bonus of 2 million Z is up for grabs. The competition is live as of today, 12 UTC, and ends on the 21st of May. Now, I'm going to actually show you something else. I'm just going to quickly go and pull this up. I'm not necessarily suggesting you do this. I'm just mentioning what it is. If you wanted to, you could use this DApp and you could go and choose your community, and you could go and increase your Z score by using Sol Decoder. This is like a farming bot strategy. The exchange will still make money and you'll still get your Z points. You can go buy an entity, it's like 1 Sol, and then as you can see, you can farm Zeta Markets, and then you can join their Discord and set it all up. I was initially going to do a tutorial on it, but I just deemed there's too much work in the tutorial, and there is some risk that you'll basically be spotted as a bot. And there's also some risk that they may kind of label you as an attacker. Unlikely, but it is possible. Anyway, back we go. Let's keep on going down. You have to pledge your allegiance in this competition. So let's just clear this up a little bit further. So in order to actually be in one of these communities, of course, you're going to have to trade with that particular wallet. You'll know from my videos that I generally suggest different wallets for different things. Well, on this occasion, just put a mark in your spreadsheet that you're going to be using as an example, your dupe wallet in order to trade, or your Pith staking wallet in order to trade. And that's okay. I mean, if it's going to give you a decent number of Z, it's probably going to be worth it. You can see the criteria here. deBridge. I have been talking about deBridge to try and bridge. So you're probably going to have that one. You should have this one, and you may have this one. And maybe you've got all of them. Who knows? And then as we've discussed, there is an additional amount as well. deBridge has put out a little post here. The allocation of Z will be distributed proportionally among deBridge users based on Z scores. No Z score, no allocation, as we know. And then the TLDR is make a deposit to Zeta of any size, pledge your allegiance to deBridge here, and then start earning the Z score. However, you don't just deposit it. It seems like they've missed out an entire step here. You have to go and trade. So you've got a couple of options. If you're just after the airdrop, which you're welcome to do so, many people will be doing this, you can go and say put a long on this exchange, and then you can go put a short on Drift, or vice versa. You can't, as far as I'm aware, be delta neutral just directly on Zeta Markets. Maybe you can. I'll show you a little bit more in a second, but first the total initial airdrop is going to be 8% of the Z supply, of the Z supply. 7% is distributed to traders based on Z score, and then 1% is set aside for that community thing that I just showed you. But as far as I'm aware, you can't. Now, who do you go and join? So this ends in 12 days, and I have no idea what the Z token would be worth, maybe pre-trading on Whales Market. Also, I don't know how many you're actually going to get. So now, pledging your allegiance. So the first thing is, remember there is a bonus. If we go back to this tweet here, the top 3 communities ranked by total Z score earned will unlock bonus allocations for their communities, a total bonus of 2 million. So first 1 mil, second 670k, and then 330k. So if we come back to this slide here, it's likely that Jupiter's going to do the best. It has the most number of traders in it, whereas Pith, it's not going to do as well. Then again, down here, 500,000 tokens split between 87 people. This is a decent opportunity. Like, yeah, you're not going to get the bonus, but if you have an asset dash element, then this would definitely probably be a worthwhile thing. deBridge, 600 people, and this is just currently, right? Tensorians, quite good. This is really quite good, actually. Mad Lads and Pith, not bad. Not bad. And then probably the best would actually be Super Team if you're part of the Super Team, and if you have a top 500 Super Team reputation dashboard score. Of the top 500, there's probably only going to be like 80 people that actually join in. So there's 80 people go in, they push. There's 100,000 tokens there. So this is quite a good idea. Personally, I would say if you have an Elements, go with this one. The other thing is, and I have not read any rules regarding this, but maybe you have a Tensorian in one wallet and an Elements NFT in another, and you go 1-on-1, or maybe you've got Pith and Asset Dash, and maybe you can go with 2 separate wallets. Maybe that's against the rules. I'm not sure, I haven't looked into them, but at the end of the day, you could potentially do that. Moving on, Fabiano has gone ahead and created this important events and dates for Solana airdrop hunters. I'm still trying to get my content calendar just being updated correctly. The person that normally does it is currently just a little bit busy. Is it just me, or does this look like off center? Just maybe it's an optical illusion. It looks like it's going down on the side. Anyway, this is it here. So there's a couple of things that I didn't actually realize. So on Galaxy, there's a Jito campaign happening. Didn't even know that was happening. Zeta Markets, that's ending this month. There's a Pith unlock, which we're aware of. So if you're wanting to, get more Pith, there could be a bit of selling pressure on May 20th. However, I would imagine that's probably not going to be the case. I just imagine that there would be people ready to buy up a decent amount of that. But it could dip down a little bit. Sanctum is doing very well. So May 10th, tomorrow, Sanctum 4x experience bonus. And then there's also the Magic Eden Phantom campaign with bonus diamonds. Anyway, he's got a little calendar. Check it out. So the Heist has the Generations Challenge 5k in prizes up for grabs. Do like the play the heist, I really do. They haven't been doing well with floor price. Don't think they've been doing terribly well with shipping all the things of their game, and I just don't have the time to stay up to date. I like the team. On one occasion they did make time, but I could never get all the information I needed in a quick, easy way in order to keep everyone updated. And unfortunately, I just don't have the time to go and spend an hour in Discord every day, or neither do my researchers, to try and keep up to date. So this, once again, it's like the generations challenge. I don't actually know what the actual task is. You're going to have to jump into Discord to find out yourself. I just don't want to give you all the details because I feel that teams need to make this a little bit more simple. One source, just give us the information. We need to get more ideas. Obviously, there's 5k in prizes up for grabs, $10 to get involved, but I have no idea if this is something where just the whales will easily win. I just have no idea, not yet. Here's another great example of dupe and how it's keeping users safe. I've reported on this a couple of times, but freeze authority. If a dev launches a token and then they freeze the token address. So freeze authority, you can now see this just nice and easy. Soju's tweeted this out because this is a response to Solandy, and I just mentioned this the other day. People are investing in meme coins and then they go ahead and they can't sell it. Well, now Jupiter is just shipping so fast. Freeze authority, false. You can go and trade if you want to trade this one. Clone protocol, I mentioned a couple of days ago as well. And this basically allows you to get kind of like bridged assets like Doge, Arbitrum, Optimism onto the Solana blockchain. So you can hold them over here. You're holding them, but they're like a clone. They're like a mirror, or they're a synthetic version of the actual asset, which is held on another blockchain. So you can now actually get dupe bonus points on clone protocol. So if you're staking dupe, you're eligible for a multiplier between 1.2 and 1.6x on all your points earned on clone. So if you're interested in any of those actual tokens, go and check it out. None of those tokens personally were something that I was really interested in. Arbitrum, no. Optimism, Doge, BNB. BNB, I mean, it's already got a decent price. You know, CZ and his gang, I don't mean that in a negative context, but his friends, they're like smart people. They're very smart people, and they know how to hold the floor of their asset. I don't want any more BNB. I have very little. I don't want any more. Cloned Doge. Maybe you can get a little bit of Doge, but I do think there's more upside with Bonk. Cloned Sui. So of all these, maybe I'd go and grab something like this. We can also LP with them as well. So once again, we'd have to go and use, say, a wallet with all of our stake dupe and put a reminder down. LP, let's have a look here. Where does this take us? How do I add this liquidity? I'll need to work it out a little bit better. But cloned Sui. What does it say in Arbitrum? Okay, so I don't understand this perfectly at all. However, if I was going to grab some Sui and I didn't want to play on that blockchain, then maybe this is where I'd hold some. More news now. Sanctum, 2 million sold TVL in Infinity. Of course, I've got the EXP point system, which has really gamified it, so well done. And also, Fabiano points out, holding Sanctum LSTs could get you orbs. Orbs, I believe, are like the point system from Switchboard. Switchboard is an oracle like Pith, and although they did have some recent issues with MarginFi, you know, it's always good to have multiple oracles. Pith is definitely my favorite, but if I ever chat to the team, I'd like to know more for sure. And you can also qualify for orbs with MarginFi, FlexLend, which is now Lulo, Kamino, Mango, and now Sanctum. So more Kamino news, always Kamino news. I feel these guys are definitely just shipping. And if you want to do any liquidity providing, then probably Kamino is a good place to start. I've got plenty of tutorials on it, just because it's a little bit easier. They just reinvest what you make and they just put it back into the liquidity pool. There's still always impermanent loss risk all the time, so make sure you're very well aware of that. Anyway, in collaboration with Gauntlet and Jito Soul, various Kamino products are receiving incentives totaling over 140k for month number 1. There's a massive push to grow DeFi over here and get deeper liquidity. When you have deeper liquidity, it's so much more safe. For example, if all of a sudden Sol started to sell off, like, you know, Sol dips down to $100 and someone has a lot of Jito Sol, they can just go and sell it for USDC and it won't depeg as easily when there's deep liquidity. And if needed, some can be unstaked at the end of the epoch and then it can be made liquid or whatever. Either way, what Kamino is doing is just fantastic. Also, Dialect. is doing something really cool. So Dialect was a really cool product that I don't know when they started. Maybe so 2021. The product came out 2022, and it was like it's a messaging app on the blockchain. These things can have they can just be too early. Like something can have product market fit, but why would we necessarily use it when we've got Discord, we have Telegram, we have some people use WhatsApp, and we have, of course, Twitter. So it's kind of hard to compete with those Web 2 narratives when they're just so much better. Like if everyone's on it, you kind of have to use it. If you go to Asia, you may not want to use WhatsApp. You go to Asia, everyone uses WhatsApp. You go to China, they have their own apps, and trying to create a decentralized, dApp, it's just hard. However, having said all that, they have gone ahead and this is really, really cool. You can now see pop-ups and alerts with your wallet. So this is now live on Meteora. You can see it here in this quick little demo, but you know what? I'll just show you. So this is one of my wallets. Click on this, you connect the wallet. The first step was to sign a transaction. And then next, we can go and add the Telegram handle, email, or just enable. And then DLMM positions out of range, notifications on. Let's close that. Loading your notifications. Well, not everything's in range, but then again, maybe something has to go out of range now. I go to DLMMs. I know that I've been need to fix up Basket and Sol and Shark and USDC. Things are way out. I know I was initially doing some sort of challenge with this. It's difficult to move things all the time. And what is even Sharky? What's the cost of Sharky? What's the price of Sharky right now? Let's just have a look. I should probably update on that. One Sharky, 12 cents. Okay, so I think I jumped in 30 cents or something, so didn't do very well. And thank you to those people in the comments that said, what are you doing with this? I shouldn't have been jumping in. I gave my reasoning a little while ago. Okay, so my positions are all out of range. I have very little money in here, and I'm very confused by everything that is there. So I need to work it all out, but I'm not going to worry about it right now. The very simple point is, I will get alerts from here moving forward. That's the point. D-Reader News. Solana's for the comics, 100K generated for comic creators in the last 100 days. I'm just putting this on your radar. This hasn't blown up to the point where I'm at the point of, see, I told you. It's not there yet, but this has product market fit. As long as they keep on shipping, there will be a movement. I'm pretty sure there'll be a movement where people start to respect that IP on-chain that's being worked on aggressively is so valuable. So keep on pushing, and please, if you like it, keep supporting builders like this, because they're pushing a narrative which is not as evident as just meme coins or DeFi, something which evidently has a major use case. They're pushing something which, when you listen to an AMA or something, it makes complete sense. Just needs a few people to realize that this is the future. Next, if you're going to Solana Crossroads, we are co-hosting a meetup with Mad Lads and Super Team DAO. Go and click on this and join. This is from Sol, and I think it's best if you do have a Mad Lad. I don't have a Mad Lad. I went and applied. We'll see if I get accepted. But if you do have a Mad, go and jump in. Now, there's going to be a lot of people at Solana Crossroads, so I'm going to do my best to try and cover a whole lot of things. So if you do see me, if you recognize me, say hi. And if you tell me what your Twitter is, maybe just show me, because I'm not going to recognize everyone. Just there's too many people. And everyone's a sea of PFPs, and I'm like, I have a PFP, but I have a face, an artificial intelligence face. Stoked to hit the Solana Crossroad in Istanbul. We'll be there this Friday and Saturday. Pass by their booth with also Decap to check out what's new and get a stable bond. So go visit them and find out about their bonds if you're keen. And then these will be linked below. You can go and have a look at them at your own leisure. I'm not going to get into politics because I know that divides people. However, this is interesting. Let's ignore the fact of Republicans versus Democrats. This is just interesting. This is all subtitled. Long story short, spoiler alert, Trump says he is not against crypto. He's fine with it. Needs to make sure it's solid and good and everything, which fine. If you can try and reduce the number of scams, or I don't know, have better KYC practices, or it's all that's hard, to be honest. But if you can make it a safer place, some educational grants or whatever, put it into universities, brilliant. Either way, he's fine with it. Then we have Biden. It's from Topo, and Biden hates crypto. his handlers hate crypto. Topo's saying his handlers because I don't want to get in trouble or anything, but Biden, he doesn't look like he's really running the show. You know, he's saying a sentence and then another sentence, and they don't make sense. It's non sequitur. They just literally do not follow. Long story short, no hate on any politician. Don't have time for that. But he's completely out of touch and he's anti-crypto. So you keep that in mind if you're in the US and if you're just trying to decide who you want to vote for. Do your own research, but ultimately at the end of the day, we need crypto to be supported by governments, not to block it. Otherwise, it's just going to make it far harder. And as an example, like it is so much harder to actually get anything through with the US. So I'll give you actually one example. So as an example, dPioneer, these are cats that are minting soon. They're a DAO. I will disconnect this wallet so we can see, and we'll do a little refresh and we'll let it load. So they are not accepting US people. They're prohibited. Same with Kamino Finance. If you're in the US, you're not allowed to use it. There's so many actual dApps which say if you're in the US, you can't use it. Normally, it's just a tick and you can get around this. Not financial or legal advice. You can get around it with a VPN. However, I'm not saying you do that in any way. I'm just saying, yes, that possibility exists. However, for companies to protect themselves, they're literally saying, you have to basically say, I'm not in the US. And hopefully that can change with whoever's running the White House in the next term. Whoever it is, just hope it can change. Also, by the way, I did the UpRock live stream. I was the host of this to try and get out all the information about this and basically do what Cash does for Super Team DAO and also for the dupe call. I do not do it anywhere near as great as Cash does, but it's a good thing to upskill with. And I'm just telling it to you just so you're aware. There's so many things to learn. Just try and always keep on learning. And when you get pretty good at something, try something else that you're just not good at until you become good at it. That's all I'm trying to say. And finally, on the crypto news, SpiderSwap. I covered this in a video yesterday on how to research projects where people will list things in the comments, and all I'm going to do is just reply with watch this video. If it's like a meme coin or a new token, just so you can understand it yourself. And I wasn't unfair to them in any way. However, they reached out, they said, hey, thank you, you were not unfair. Thanks for the feedback. Just one point, I basically mentioned their tokenomics. I went and checked it on RugCheck. There was one wallet, had 50% of all the tokens. And my suggestion was, they basically sent it to Anatoly, which is something that's not normally done. It was something that was done in the past with huge amounts of tokens being sent to Vitalik on ETH. And then he went and just sold them and just went and donated like millions and millions of dollars to like a crypto fund in India to help out the Indian population during the COVID times. But basically what my suggestion is, firstly, thank you for getting in touch with me and just, caring enough to give me some information. And secondly, if you've got something like a website like this, make it easy so that someone can very quickly try and grab all the information they can without having to go into Discord and join Discord, go to Telegram or whatever. So as an example, you could have something down here that says tokenomics. You click on that and it opens up and it says, these are our tokenomics. Yes, 50% of the supply is held in one wallet. We send that to Tolly. This is the on-chain transaction. You can check it out. Just something to keep in mind. But anyway, I didn't want to do them a disservice, so I'm just letting you know, regarding that video, 50% of the supply was sent to Anatoly. Now it's finally time for the actionables. Get alerts on your Meteora pools via Dialect. That's easy. Mentioned this the other day, but EuroC and USDC Vault on Kamino has some pretty decent rewards. If you're going to Crossroads, take your Solana Mobile Saga if you have one. There'll probably be a few different opportunities. One opportunity is from the Genesis Go team, the other team behind the Shadow token. They said, bring your phone to our talk. So maybe they're going to give you some Shadow tokens. Solana Crossroads, this Friday and Saturday. I'll be there. Say hi. DCA as per normal. Stake your soul. Stake with validator.com. And finally, join the Zeta community airdrop. You need to work out which community is best for you. I'm a big fan of dupe. They'll most likely get the actual bonus, but when you work it out based on your Z score and based on how many people are actually competing for the allocation of tokens, I think you're probably going to be better off to go with a smaller group. Whatever one that may be, just maybe monitor it for a day or so. Don't necessarily go and buy that NFT. As an example, Elements, maybe you want it, maybe you don't, but probably at the moment I am thinking elements would do quite well. That's all for today. Thanks very much. Catch you tomorrow.